Good morning, guys. I'm going to talk a little bit about calorie restriction and fat loss. Um, I might say weight loss in between. What I mean is fat loss. Majority of people who go in with dreams of fat loss are going in because number one, they want to change. Hopefully, number two, maybe societal pressure, peer pressure, Instagram pressure, looking at everybody looking shredded all the time. Now, the first question that normally you should ask a person who's trying to achieve fat loss is, are you willing to change? And most of the time, if they've come to you, the answer is probably yes. Now, the extent of which you're going to push them to change may vary. Some people can go in strong, some people may not go in as strong. And now, as coaches and trainers, many people make the mistake of going in too hard, too fast, or going in too big, too fast too. What I mean by that is you try to restrict everything, basically suck out the joy of their life by removing everything that is perceivably bad for them. And I'm talking about anything from fast food to rice as Asians, any form of sweet drinks, that let it be soda, Milo, high glycemic index fruits, fats that is particularly saturated fats, every form of fried food, and you realize that most of the time they go well for a few weeks and then they just go sliding all the way down, okay? And either they go binging or they will never see you again. So the problem with this is most of us don't realize that when it comes to humans, especially people who are recreational, majority of the general population, they're not athletes. They don't come in with the mentality that they are going to strike hard at what they're trying to achieve. And my biggest idea or my biggest advice for someone who's trying to advise someone to lose fat or fat loss is sustainability. Now, I always believe that when it comes to general population, the first thing that you have to assess is the willingness to change. If they do have the willingness to change, number two is try to see where you can improve their lifestyle in the form of getting them to get more exercise, getting them to move a little bit more steps in a day, getting them to be, in other words, being less sedentary. And then proper sleep. Yes, most of them, weight loss has got a lot to do with proper sleep. A lot of people have very restricted sleep. We're talking about 3 to 4 hours, sometimes 5 hours, which is not really adequate when it comes to talking about how sleep and dietary patterns are associated. Now, next, moving on to the dietary restrictions. Now, when it comes to diet, calorie restriction is key. Not weight loss supplements, not any form of pills. There is no magic detox diet or whatsoever. Okay, and any form of diet you choose to go, whether it be keto, let it be paleo, or you just want to go in moderation with things, you got to start with things which are sustainable. And if this is a person who eats fast food 6 days in a week, maybe start cutting down with that first. Cut down the frequency which you do that. Basically, what I mean is, don't go too big too fast. What I mean is, make small changes, and along the way, let it snowball. Basically, you make bigger changes once they start accepting that this works, and you're not really sucking out all the joy of their life, out of their lives, So if you stop everything that they like, eventually they will fail because simply because you have removed everything that would have perceivably caused any form of joy in their life. And most of us, it's food. If you're going to tell them that you're never ever going to eat a slice of cheesecake ever, it's going to suck out the joy of their lives. But if you tell them instead of eating maybe 3 pieces of cheesecake, maybe eat one. Once a week is fine, So you start small, and once they realize how it affects their lives, how healthy they feel, or how their body composition has improved over time, they will come to more realization, and then you can make bigger changes. And as Asians, there's some things you can do and some things you can't do. You can't tell people to stop rice altogether. That's Asian. That's what we eat. That's what we grow. You can't expect everyone to eat steak and potatoes every day. That's not going to happen. So you got to make things, make suggestions that are sustainable, and number one. Number two, it has to make sense. And and whatever said and done, calorie restriction is the key. And whatever you're trying to achieve with weight loss, if you do not meet the terms of calorie deficit, if you do not meet the terms of calorie deficit, weight loss is going to be difficult to achieve. And most people fail because they do not account for a lot of things that they eat. I'm talking about sauces and additional curry and so on and so forth. And that's where the differences between your intake and output goes out of whack. So if I was going to give some points of how someone should approach fat loss, number one, assess the person's willingness to change. Number two, do not go too big too fast, especially with general population. They don't have athletic mentality. So you want to make small changes, let it be their lifestyle, let it be making them move a little bit more so you can get increase in caloric expenditure, get a little bit better sleep, and then we can talk about improving the diet and make small changes so that we gradually clean up the act when it comes to diet. And most of the time you will succeed, because instead of it being a short-term change, it becomes a lifestyle change. They accept that there are some things that you should do and some things you shouldn't do. So they will not eat fast food 6 times a week anymore. They will understand that fast foods has to be things that should be taken once in a while. So when you make that kind of improvement in their style of thinking or their mentality, they will eventually get the hang of it, and you don't have to try too hard anymore. It becomes innate, it becomes normal. And that's how most of us do well with improving our general health. So that should be the key. Alright guys, thank you for listening.